Good evening, everyone. Director, Assistant Director, Chief Wecker, Assistant Chiefs, members of the Ohio Wildlife Council, our cadets, staff, family, friends, welcome to the graduation exercises of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Division of Wildlife 2020 Wildlife Officer Cadet Class. I'm Jim Quinlivan, and I have the distinct honor and privilege of being assigned as the training officer for this great group of cadets in this, the 30th Wildlife Officer Training Academy. I both welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening on this special occasion as our newest officers begin their very important careers in law enforcement, conservation, and service. I will remind you that there is a Q&A box on your screen with Teams Live where you may post comments congratulating specific cadets. So without further delay, I'd like to begin our graduation with Cadet Scott Traver, who will present today's invocation. Cadet Traver.
Thank you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for watching over us and giving us this time together. Your strong hand has steadied us during these times of difficulty. Thank you for this day you have given us, and especially for this occasion that brings us together as we celebrate the graduation of our cadet class. Throughout our state's history, you have raised up strong and courageous men and women who have led the way in protecting the state's resources and your great creation. Help us follow in their footsteps to conserve and improve fish and wildlife resources and their habitats for sustainable use and appreciation by all. We ask that you give us wisdom and help us make good choices every day. We also ask for your protection to watch over us and keep us safe. Help us remember the blessings you have given us. We are grateful for our instructors, teachers, and leaders who consistently guide us to be better people every day. We also thank you for our friends and family who have supported us throughout our journey this far and who will continue to provide support throughout our careers. We ask that you go with us now to our next assignment and that we would go with pride and confidence, ready to face what lies before us, depending on your strength and comfort. Father, most of all, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. It is in his precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Cadet Traver. With each new group of wildlife officer cadets, I find that there's always a buzz within our agency and with our employees. It starts when we decide to hire a new cadet class to fill vacancies and continues through their initial recruiting, training, testing, and even today as we come to conclusion with our graduation exercises. There is always excitement and energy. Even with less sleep and maybe a few sleepless nights for some of us, that anticipation continues to build week after week and month after month. I know many of you also feel this buzz as you travel around the state. And my fellow wildlife employees talk to constituents and citizens all over who are quick to want to tell us about their wildlife officer and the good work that their wildlife officer is doing. These are great examples of the relationships and professional work that our officers do, the ownership they take in their job duties, and the personal relationships and service that they bring all over the state of Ohio, and that this great group of cadets today will aspire to. And I have found that they're certainly capable of that. There are several noteworthy events to always mention with the cadet class, and looking back on the hiring of this group, and the past year in general, there's certainly no exception for a number of reasons. And we're here today virtually, of course, instead of in person, but we're here together. And while there will be a lot of smiles, certainly just not hugs and handshakes in person, being here and completing this program safely and during a time of a health pandemic, I don't think can be understated. Getting to today, really, I wonder if there isn't much that our agency can't do. We had a record number of applications received for our wildlife officer training program, over 900. I think it was 913 if we're keeping track, because I do. But this nationally, when many people are perhaps giving pause to a career in law enforcement and joining ranks of law enforcement professionals. I know that our new cadets and all of their peers are eager to lend their voices and, more importantly, their actions in a time of positive change and professional service, which is the hallmark of hundreds of thousands of officers nationwide. We're again pleased to note that for several of these cadets, we've stayed in contact with them for years while they patiently waited for their opportunity to join this profession and prepared for their chance to become Ohio wildlife officers. I think their motivation speaks highly of all the cadets here, and they have spent 7 months training and learning about law enforcement, fisheries, and wildlife conservation, using the tools and equipment that they're responsible for, but most importantly, working on building relationships and working with people. They are unique, and they all have valuable backgrounds to bring with them to this career already. Many of their experiences and interests will be very helpful to them and to our agency. They all want to do something more, bigger than themselves, and we'll give them this opportunity starting Monday. Now, delivering remarks to our graduating class today will be Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, ODNR Director Mary Mertz, Division of Wildlife Chief Kendra Wecker, and Wildlife Law Enforcement Executive Administrator Ken Fitz. First, a message from Ohio Governor Mike DeWine.
Hello, I'm Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. Tonight, we'll be graduating 12 of Ohio's best and brightest to join the ranks of Ohio's wildlife officers. I'm so very proud of all that you have accomplished and your achievements during training, and I've heard about your many successes. After tonight, Ohio will have a residential wildlife officer in each of our 88 counties. You're tasked with providing strong customer service to our communities. You are now part of a long legacy of wildlife officers that have protected and conserved Ohio's tremendous wildlife resources and waterways. And you are connecting our fellow Ohioans to the great outdoors. You have a very important mission. And I trust that you now have the necessary tools that were taught during the 30th Wildlife Officer Academy to be very successful. I wish you the very best in the months and years to come. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Great. That was a wonderful message from Governor DeWine. I'd like to introduce Director Mary Mertz, ODNR, with remarks to the graduating class.
Thanks so much, Jim, and good evening, everyone. First, let me thank everyone for joining us online tonight for this really important occasion. I mean, today is a special day. This is a great milestone in the careers of all the cadets who are graduating tonight. It's very exciting, and I'm glad we could gather, even if it's on a virtual screen. So you all have been faced with some really unique challenges this year, challenges no class before you has ever had, and you stuck with it. I know it's been a long process, and so we are proud of your resiliency, for your persistence, and for all of your accomplishments, and you are truly worthy of a wonderful congratulations on making it through the 30th Ohio Wildlife Officer Cadet Academy. So congratulations to all of you. So we are excited to get you out in the field. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources has an important, broad, and essential conservation mission, and you all are absolutely key to it. It's such a big mission that we can't accomplish it without public support. And you all, our new officers and our current officers, wildlife officers are ambassadors, not just for the Division of Wildlife, but for the entire department. And we rely on you to build trust with Ohio citizens, to build relationships in the community, to serve your community in ways that help people acknowledge, appreciate, and support the conservation work that we do and that others do. And so you are an absolutely key part of making that happen. So we are looking forward to you getting out there and fulfilling this mission. So historically, the Division of Wildlife has valued the support of hunters and anglers, trappers, recreational shooters, others who directly interface with the agency. But everyone benefits from conservation, even if they don't have a direct engagement with the Fish and Wildlife Agency. And with these ever-growing challenges we have to conservation, pollution in the waters, spread of invasive species, loss of habitat, with all these challenges, we need support from all Ohioans. And that's why I'm especially proud of this group, that you are bringing your unique backgrounds and interests and perspectives. We have birders and hikers and naturalists, and I really look forward to seeing how you bring those traits and interests and knowledge to your communities and your coworkers to really help us accomplish our mission. Very excited about that and can't wait to see what happens. So clearly, this is no ordinary time for the world, for the country, for Ohio, for law enforcement. 2020 has brought unique and unpredictable challenges. This agency has had to be nimble in adapting new technologies for communication, different work schedules and routines, and real changes in how we operate. It's brought with it a higher level of scrutiny to law enforcement. And as public servants, we are simply held to a higher standard of conduct. And it's vital that in every interaction that you all have, we respond with the utmost dignity and respect to those we serve while maintaining safety. And I know with all of your training and the role models that you'll have out there, that I can count on all of you to do this and to do it with excellence. So thank you. This is an outstanding group of officers. I have confidence that your training and your commitment to improving each and every day will pay huge dividends for the citizens of Ohio. You know, out of all the directions your career could have taken, you chose to be a wildlife officer. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I think I was supposed to say a few words that were inspiring, but turn it around. You all inspire me. It is my privilege to be your director. I look forward to working with you in the years and months to come. Congratulations to all of you, and I wish you a long, productive, and happy career with the Department of Natural Resources. Thanks for the time this evening, and congratulations.
Thank you, Director. And now, Chief Kendra Wecker.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you to the governor and the director for both messages. I thought they were outstanding. And thank you to the staff doing the behind the scenes work with the technology. I appreciate it. So good evening, everyone. We're so happy to have you here with us. To our families and our guests, as a parent of a recent Ohio State graduate, I have to admit I was a little disappointed when I heard that it would be an online graduation ceremony. But we sat in our kitchen waiting with her laptop huddled around, and I looked up at our wall, and on our wall we have a phrase with some family pictures, and it says, "There is always, always, always something to be thankful for." So reflecting on that phrase that evening, we commented, well, at least we didn't have a long drive home, and we didn't have to sit in a stuffy auditorium, and she was still graduating, and even best of all, we could grill out immediately. So I hope you enjoy this evening, and as we celebrate the cadets and your families. So in the Division of Wildlife, we hire the best of the best. And the cadets, you are joining the best in fisheries and wildlife management with biologists and technicians, experts in communications and education, business, federal aid, and clerical professionals who all help us accomplish our mission. No one section could do it alone, and it is the camaraderie, teamwork, and professionalism that knits our staff into the fabric that makes our wildlife family. From the training you have received, endured at times, and grown from, to the variety of equipment you have been provided, and the time spent with our team of experts, you can tell we truly, truly care about our staff. You become family, and we want the very best for all of you. The hunt invested in you, and they deserve our very best effort every single day. It is an honor and a privilege to wear this logo. It is a great responsibility, and I'm confident you are ready to face the challenge and bear that logo. As you go forward, you will be a celebrity in your community and a hero to many. So be sure to stay humble. To those that you make nervous, be steady and patient. And to those that deceive and run from you, well, they will learn that was a mistake. A great attitude and enthusiasm for the work will never fail you. Challenges will be ahead. They always are. And we will be here to mentor you and always help you succeed. And remember, there's always, always, always something to be thankful for. And one of them is the ability to always use your best judgment. You are Ohio's 2020 Best of the Best. As you enter the field, I am certain you will make us proud, as you have your parents, family, and friends. As Chief of the Ohio Division of Wildlife, I am excited to introduce our 12 new wildlife officers to the people of Ohio. Congratulations. I will now introduce the Executive Administrator for Law Enforcement, Ken Fitz.
Cadets, I think tonight you're going to hear some common themes in these remarks. I promise you that we did not compare our notes, but you're still going to hear common themes. Tonight you're going to join a select group of individuals with a limited membership. There's over 33,000 certified peace officers in the state of Ohio, but there's only 145 that wear the badge we do. That's a pretty limited membership. As law enforcement officers, we also have a very special mission, protecting our wildlife resources, the lands and the waters they occupy, and the people that enjoy them. In 1873, the Ohio Fish Commission was formed, and in 1886, the first game warden was appointed to protect the fisheries. Since that time, the job title and the design of the badge have changed, but the mission has stayed pretty much the same. A lot of people have worked hard on that mission, and some have lost their lives for it. You are joining a legacy of conservation leadership. Don't let those men and women that came before you down. I know you're all ready to go out and make a big case and catch a poacher, but that's only part of the job. You've joined the OhioDNR Division of Wildlife family, made up of a variety of professionals in related disciplines that all work and function together. As a wildlife officer, you will have the chance to be involved in all aspects of the division. You will help biologists with surveys. You will teach hunter education. You will talk to the public, and you will represent our agency to groups that may not know who we are or what we do. Many of you will be the only representative of our agency in your assigned county. You will certainly write tickets, and sometimes you'll decide not to write a ticket. Remember, sometimes the ticket you don't write is more important than the one that you do. There is a lot resting on your shoulders, but don't let the weight of that responsibility get you down. When you need help, ask for it. You'll be surrounded by other officers that were in the same spot you're in tonight, and they will gladly help. You will have continuous training throughout your career. Take it seriously, and you'll do well. After 25 years of wearing this badge, I do have a few points of advice for you. Remember your mission. Treat people with respect, and you'll get respect in return. Don't be afraid of change. Learn to adapt and be flexible. Never say never. Do your paperwork correctly and on time. And speaking of paperwork, pay attention to the details. Remember, if it isn't written down, it didn't happen. Maintain balance in your life. If you have a bad day, don't dwell on it. Make good decisions for the right reasons. Help people whenever you can, and enjoy your career and make the best of it. Be proud of your badge. You've earned the privilege to wear it. Lastly, I want to thank your families and friends for the support they've given you as you started this journey. The hiring and training process are difficult, not only for the new officers, but also for their families. Without your support, these cadets would not be here tonight. Thank you for your support, and good luck to the graduating class.
Thank you, Ken. Each of our cadet classes always selects a class speaker. Today, Cadet Cole Tilton has been nominated by his peers to say a few words on their behalf. I'd like to introduce Cadet Cole Tilton.
Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome everyone who's tuning in this evening to our virtual graduation and say thank you to those that made our graduation possible during these unusual times. We're all living in this pandemic. Social distancing and masks have become part of our everyday lives. It's not easy being away from home as much as we all have been. Family goes a long way in a career in law enforcement. I want to say thank you to all the family members who supported us through our journey. This process started with us applying online in July of 2019. There were over 900 applications to become a wildlife officer. The next step for us was to take a written exam, which over 400 people were invited to take. Then we received an email congratulating us that we were chosen to move forward. For me, it seemed like it took forever to get that email. I thought the hard part was over, but I was wrong. We all had to go through a vigorous background investigation, physical fitness testing, a polygraph test, interviews, and psychological testing. After all that was completed, we were told to wait on an email or a phone call for the next step. I'm sure everyone remembers what they were doing that day when the phone call came with the job offer. I was sitting in the Chicago airport waiting on a plane to fly home on December 23rd. That was the best Christmas gift I could have asked for. We were all thankful to be sitting where we are today, graduating as wildlife cadets to wildlife officers. The first time we were all together as a group was our orientation week. We met a lot of the wildlife family, with many saying it was an accomplishment to be sitting where we were that day. Soon after that, I remember Officer Quinlivan telling us that our odds were at 40% of becoming wildlife officers. At that time, I couldn't tell if he was joking or being serious. I thought the odds would have been a lot higher at this point, so that worried me a little bit. For most of us, we had one more hurdle to go through, and that was the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy. 2 wildlife officers from the class before us came back to talk to us about the OSP Academy, and then I realized that Officer Quinlivan was most likely being serious about the 40% success rate. Luckily for us, we had a former state trooper with us, so what better person to ask about the academy? We spent an hour one night at dinner asking him a million questions about it. His response to most of the questions were, "You guys will be fine, just figure it out." It really wasn't much of a help to us. The OSP Academy had its challenges. The one that stands out in everyone's eyes is COVID-19. We went from sweating on each other to trying to figure out how to stay 6 feet apart and not breathe on each other. Most everyone knows that we were sent home for several weeks where we became experts at using online meeting functions such as this one. We're all having technical difficulties still. But the Division of Wildlife never forgot about us. During these uncertain times, we were beginning to wonder if our careers as wildlife officers were on the line. Officer Quinlivan never had any doubt about our careers and kept us thinking positive. He kept us busy, and we started our Wildlife Academy earlier than we all thought. And he made sure that we still continued to keep our physical fitness testing up weekly with weekly reports, and threatened us that bad things would happen if we went back to OSP out of shape. The scare tactic worked. The wildlife crew as a group finished towards the top of our academy class. I'm proud of all of us. We worked hard at OSP. We learned a lot in the OSP Academy, and it's built a solid foundation for us to keep growing on. I could tell more stories about the Academy for a long time, but we don't have time for that right now. I would like to congratulate Charles McMullen on finishing at the OSP Academy at the top of the class. Of all 62 of us, he was the top cadet basic overall. It's quite an accomplishment, and it's great for a wildlife cadet to bring it home for us. He's always had the best looking shoes and boots, and he always has the shiniest pickup to boot, so it helps us all out. The worst part about the OSP Academy is that we are missing 2 wildlife cadets. They're both certified already and didn't have to go to OSP. Going through an academy like that created a bond between all of us, something that we will be able to laugh about for the rest of our careers. The friendships that we created will last a lifetime. and missing 2 of us was the worst part about the academy. We were all happy and excited to get out of OSP and start the real Wildlife Academy. We all looked forward to this for a long time. Spending times in hotels, eating dinner, telling stories, and making memory has really made things feel like a family. And of course, training to become a wildlife officer has been great too. It makes it a lot more enjoyable learning about wildlife law instead of traffic law. One of the most important things that stuck out in my mind before the OSP Academy is the amount of wildlife staff that kept saying, "Welcome to our wildlife family." After all the support, encouragements, and thoughts sent our ways during these unusual times, I believe that I speak for everyone when I say it really does feel like a family, and we are all more than honored to be a part of the wildlife family. It's been a long time coming with a lot of ups and downs for all of us along the way, but we adapted and pushed through. I'm happy for all of us that are dreaming of becoming wildlife officers has come true. Congratulations to everyone. We are going to have great careers, and it's an honor and a privilege to represent the Division of Wildlife. And Officer Quinlivan, for some of us, he was the only interaction we have had through the division through the hiring process. I was one of those people. He has been a mentor, a leader, and a friend to all of us through this. We have been able to call him at any hour of the day. We are very unique in how we got to where we are right now, but with his help, he made it a lot easier. We may have made his blood pressure go up more than normal, but he never gave up, and he was always there. He has made sure that we are prepared as possible for whatever we face. He had us looking the best during the OSP graduation and through the entire Wildlife Academy. We all want to thank you for the amount of time you have given us through this entire process. And now that we aren't your problem to deal with anymore, I hope that we will all stay in touch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cadet Tilton. Well done. At this time, our cadets will receive their badges pinned on their uniform by their family and friends. I also wanted to note that yesterday they received their certificates as commissioned wildlife officers and for their achievement for completing our wildlife officer pre-service training, our advanced academy. Pinning on their badges today for many of the cadets will be their family and friends who have encouraged them and stood by them for months while they were training. I wanted to make a comment about our wildlife officer badge in that it is a symbol of authority, but more importantly, it's a symbol of the public's faith and trust in us to carry out the responsibilities of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honesty, integrity, and with personal courage. Our badge is unique. You will not find one anywhere, I think. I do not believe you can buy it online yet, but my point is it's earned. It is not given, only through hard work and commitment to those 12 that are here today. I will now introduce each cadet and their assignment individually to have their badges. The first is Logan J. Ambrister, who will be assigned to Belmont County in Wildlife District 4. Next is Matthew R. Bourne, who will be assigned to Clark County in Wildlife District 5. Next, Ryan L. Burke, who will be assigned at large in Wildlife District 1. Jade M. Heiser, who will be assigned at large in Wildlife District 1. Zachary A. Hillman, who will be assigned at large in Wildlife District 3. Charles C. McMullen, who will be assigned to Sandusky County in Wildlife District 2. Brian S. Motzinger, who will be assigned to Union County in Wildlife District 1. Nathan M. Robinson, who will be assigned to Van Wert County in Wildlife District 2. Benjamin A. Smith, who will be assigned at large in Wildlife District 4. Matthew D. Smith, who will be assigned at large in Wildlife District 5. Cole P. Tilton, who will be assigned to Scioto County in Wildlife District 4. And last but not least, Scott R. Traver, who will be assigned to Stark County in Wildlife District 3. Great job, everyone. Looking great. Prior to the beginning of their wildlife officer training, each cadet was administered the Wildlife Oath of Office by Chief Wecker as required by the Ohio Revised Code. However, today we desire to present this oath again in a virtual public forum so that their family, friends, and coworkers can witness the oath that they have solemnly taken as part of our cadet training program. Chief Wecker will now administer the oath to all the cadets.
Cadets, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I
State your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
and the Constitution
Constitution of the State of Ohio.
And will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of wildlife officer.
and
Faith and faithfully discharge the duties of wildlife officer.
Office to the best of my skill and ability.
Best skill.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. To everyone watching and participating today, we're very proud to present to you a group who are no longer cadets, but now wildlife officers of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife, the graduates of the 2020 cadet class, 30th Wildlife Officer Training Academy. Usually at this point, there's a round of thunderous applause. However, in a virtual format, we'll wait for that later.
Woo!
In closing, although I may appear today as the cadet training officer, I wanted to let you know that these new officers' success and the success of our training program is only possible due in large part to my fellow officers and staff of the Division of Wildlife and ODNR, many of whom have worked tirelessly behind the scenes supporting this process and instructing some portion of their training. With that concludes our evening's event. I want to thank you all for joining us, and congratulations to our new wildlife officers.